Welcome to Marketing Made Simple TV. My name is Jeff Ogden, the host of the show, and we're really excited to have today's guest on the show, Sandra Zoratti. Sandra is the author or the co-author of this book on precision marketing, and she's going to talk to us today about how marketers can actually leverage data to improve marketing outcomes. So let's welcome Sandra to the show.
Thanks, Jeff. Super excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you on the show. Now, one of the ideas that you bring out in your book is how the balance of power has shifted. It used to be back in the 60s and 70s, marketers had all the power. They blasted their ads out on TV, and it just more and more, they controlled the message, but they can't do that anymore.
Yes.
What is the takeaway from your book?
You're absolutely right that marketers used to use traditional methods and top-down communications to broadcast. Today, with the internet and social media, consumers are really in control. Some people say the customer is God because conversations are occurring via social media that really now define your brand. So as a marketer, the only way to really leverage this is jump into the conversation, engage, and interact. So the example I like is Best Buy, who uses 12 Force and empowers their entire employee base to interact with customers and help solve problems. So this is a total cultural shift for business people and marketers.
I think that you're right, Sandra, and the implications for businesses is profound. That everyone who touches customers controls their brand today. Yes. So it's a very different world. Yes. Let's talk about another thing that you bring out in the book of the problem with disengagement. By not really personalizing it or doing a precise message, a relevant message, people are opting out, people are unsubscribing, people are turning you off. And this is obviously a problem for marketers. What do they do about that?
It's a huge problem for marketers because retention and reactivation are much less costly and much more important than customer acquisition. And we have a stat that says 92% of customers are disengaging from email, even when they've previously opted in. And so what I see is this huge gap. 50% of customers say irrelevance makes me disconnect, and yet 60% of our marketing messaging is still generic cookie cutter and not tailored to the end user. So this is a real problem that we need to solve.
You're absolutely right, and I've seen so many examples of this. Tell me about, again, the balance of power. I think you had an example you cited of a particular video that went viral. Tell us about that story.
Right, so there are lots of examples, unfortunately, and sometimes fortunately. So what you want to do is develop positive brand attractors, not detractors. The example, Jeff, was the FedEx case last Christmas where a delivery person was shown throwing a computer monitor over the screen and damaging it on December 20th during the peak holiday season. The customer posted a video. It has up to today about 9 million views on YouTube, while the FedEx apology, which came 24 hours later and was lovely, only got about 500,000 views. Wow. So the customer's voice trumps everything else, and they're absolutely in control.
Amazing. And I saw that particular FedEx view, and it's unbelievable how the FedEx truck is in the background, and they have a close-up of the guy throwing it over the fence. It's pretty amazing how perfectly the camera was set for that particular example. So. One of the things, there's a common belief out there that if we just spread our message broadly and just try to just get a small piece of the audience, that will generate a high ROI. Is that true?
That's such a great question. As consumers, on a daily basis, we receive about 300 billion Twitter updates. We get about 500 million Facebook status updates and 2 million blog posts. We're overwhelmed, and understandably. As a marketer, good luck cutting through that clutter, right? Just getting the attention. Attention is so scarce. So what some marketers have done is leverage things like email, where you might be able to send out to 100,000 people a campaign. If 1% engage and you generate revenue, that might be a nice result for your company. What people do not look at is what is the cost of what happened with the 99% who got that irrelevant message. They're disengaging, or worse, you've upset them, and now they're a brand detractor, and they can put negative ripple effect out there for you. So calculating the ROI on that approach really isn't valid until you look at the cost to the 99% of sending that, what we call spray and pray messaging.
That's an interesting thought about it, because, as you said, if someone gets a 1 or 2% response, they're usually pretty happy, but what is the effect on the other 98%?
Exactly.
Very interesting. Let's talk a little bit about the idea of precision marketing, of harnessing the data. Yes. One of the problems that marketers have is there's so much data. What are some of your key tips on using data to, where do they start?
Yes, it's a great question, because I just saw an IBM statistic that in 2 days we generate as much data as we generated from the dawn of civilization to 2003. So we are drowning in data, but we don't have any insights. So the important thing is to get started, and it's a journey. And I like the Chinese proverb, journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And what I suggest is that marketers start with a subset of their data, just take a portion, cleanse that, maybe it's your high-value customers, and utilize that, apply the analytics, and run a campaign using those insights and do a side-by-side comparison, business as usual or the analyzed data that's going to help you with targeting, with tailored content and messaging, and also with metrics so you can have iterative learning. This approach enables marketers to get started, measure the results, and expand from there.
I think that's a great tip, Sandra, because when people are looking for a place to start, start small. Do a test, to get a small subset. And also, too, I think one of the facts that marketers, and we want to make this an educational show, is by starting with a small subset, they can get a success, and then they can build upon that.
That is so important, and getting the success expressed in the language of the business, which is revenue or return on investment, is really powerful, because then you can talk to your entire executive team about pursuing this further. So I think that's a great starting point.
Good. Yeah. One of the things I want to mention too is this is an educational show, and our sponsor, Eloqua, has a great content offer, a real-world marketing syllabus, actually information about marketing, which you can download at any point during the show by clicking the button at the top of the screen. So I think it's important that people get good educational information from this. So I'd encourage the viewers to download this.
Right.
So this has been a really interesting discussion. Where do they learn more about you, Sandra? Where can they find your book? I know you're big on social media too. So if the viewers want to learn more about you, where do they go?
I would be honored if people would like to follow me on Twitter at Sandra Z. My book is on Amazon. It's called Precision Marketing. They can search by that. I also have a website under my own name, sandrazoratti.com, and there's a precisionmarketingbook.com as well. So many ways to connect, and I would be honored. Thank you.
Good. Well, I want to thank you for being a guest on Marketing Made Simple TV. We want to thank all of our sponsors, Eloqua, Avatage, Watchatu, Digital Ethos. I think I'm forgetting someone, but that's okay. So we thank all our sponsors, and we encourage everyone to tune in for a new episode of Marketing Made Simple TV every Thursday at noon Eastern Time.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.